Thursday. From M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland, it's Week 8 of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens taking on Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to historic Baltimore, Maryland and M&T Bank Stadium. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talked about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
The Ravens offense going to work, and as usual, it's Lamar Jackson, the former MVP of the league, at the helm.
And what a performance in his last game. A couple touchdown passes, that was positive.
But more than 2 interceptions.
Yeah, that's not what he's looking for. What did Vince Lombardi say, though? Winning isn't everything.
It's the only thing.
And that's what he hangs his hat on after last week's game.
First carry now for Gus Edwards. He'll have a first down past the 40, and he'll get this all the way up to the 42-yard line. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks.
That's a very nice game there, a confidence-building run. Love the execution up front, and the way he pressed the hole, absolutely perfect.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Jackson. Flush to his right. That ball caught. It's Mark Andrews, the tight end. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 16 more on that one and another first down.
That is definitely what we call a defensive uh-oh play. And what you mean by that is against Lamar Jackson, when you see him out of the pocket, your first thought is, uh-oh, he's going to try and run it. How do I get to him and get him on the ground? And guess what? That didn't happen, and his receivers took advantage.
So they go from one 42-yard line to the other as they come up now 1st and 10. They'll run for the first time with J.K. Dobbins. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41. So we'll look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
12 yards there and a first down.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of people...
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Carl Lawson with a little how do you do as he gets in there for the sack. A few issues here on the offensive line. Apparently, he got sacked 5 times last week. They got to him here in the first quarter.
And I would think that running the ball would be paramount here because it's a different team they're facing, but they watch the film as well. So they'll take many of those same principles and try and apply them in this game to see if they fixed what was wrong with them in the last game.
On second down, a run with Dobbins. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a 1st down.
And on their first drive, the offense staying out there. They're going to go for it on 4th. Now it's Jackson. And that is going to be incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And on the opening drive of the afternoon, the defense forces a turnover on downs. So now the Bengals get ready for their first drive. They'll be led out by the number 1 overall pick back in 2020 from LSU. It's Joe Burrow. And you've got to think that they've got to be feeling pretty fresh. You know, coming off of the open week, didn't have to play, right? Gives them a chance to rest up a little bit, heal some of those aches and pains, and excited about playing again. That really rekindles things a little bit. I want to see how they come out and establish themselves here early. And that bye week coming right where they want it, in the middle of the schedule. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber that runs like this early, because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Now left side on the swing pass. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
That was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? 2nd and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the 1st down, and that's exactly what he did.
Mixon with a 1st down carry. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
The throw there finding its way to Boyle. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now gives him a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Burrow on 3rd down. And that is incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
Powerful running. There was a 42-yard punt, but a net of 32. They had a 10-yard return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Baltimore set to take over here for their 2nd possession of the game. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go-around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you've got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board. So let's see if it changes a little bit if they're in the same spot again.
Yeah, we'll see what the decision is here if they get to that spot. From the 25 on 2nd down, Jackson. That ball's caught. Aguilar right side. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
Ravens send their punter out now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. Cincinnati coming back onto the field here for their second drive. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
And he'll be brought down here at the 28. It was Chuck Clark coming up to make the tackle.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back down and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal is to shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
And he's got a Bengals first down as he's got this up to the 40-yard line. 11 yards there, first down.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
Throwing now, Burrow on first down. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only the DB's going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. Once again here on 2nd and 10. And he comes back with one complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 12 yards there and a first down. From the gun again to Mixon. Takes this to the 45. Not much space there after the nice move. In on the stop, the former Georgia Bulldog, Roquan Smith. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
He's going to loft it deep right sideline. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. Well, this crowd does not like that call.
Understandable reaction from them. That's their team that the penalty's going against. But you and I both know they're going to take care of the quarterback.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. He'll air this one out for Boyd. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. So the pass incomplete in the end zone, but contact and pass interference.
And now where does the ball get placed?
At the 1-yard line.
1-yard line. They gave up excellent real estate on that one.
And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Joe Mixon, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bengals are going to take a first-quarter lead. Second effort there, he was determined to find pay dirt, and he did.
I think that's a great example of what coaches talk about, a back that runs behind his pads, and he uses pads to get him into the end zone.
Extra point attempt to follow here. And he's got it to make it 7-0 Bengals. A drive that time of 6 plays. And it all culminated in the touchdown run coming from Joe Mixon. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Baltimore about ready to go on offense. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now?
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. They'll start with the option. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
On 2nd down, Dobbins breaks through the contact. It's a foot race. 20, 10, and all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. J.K. Dobbins, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Ravens are an extra point away from tying the football game. The CD, I mean, there are touchdown runs, and then there are touchdown runs, and that one certainly fell into the latter category. Now, that deserves a couple exclamation points.
I think defensively, when you look at a play like that, that's when everyone looks at their teammates and starts shaking their heads a little bit, because now you're wondering, what are we in for? Worked all week to try and limit the big play ability that he possesses, and he winds up taking one to the house in the very first quarter. That was a tremendous run.
It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This will make it into the end zone, and this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. Cincinnati now ready to take the field, and they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
First down, here's Burrow. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds, because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but they make them out of bounds. That does you no good.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming. They'll set up the screen here to Mixon. And they're going to get him down well short of the first, as he can only get this to the 30. That'll bring up 4th down. They wind up getting 8 yards, but they needed more than that. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play, because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Here's A.J. Cole now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Pretty good return, all things considered, but holding.
I agree with you totally. It was actually a return that they were going to be very proud of, but when you end up holding and bringing it back, now your offense has to start a little bit deeper in their own territory.
Jackson on the give to Dobbins. He'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23.
Brought down at the 23-yard line.
These two teams all tied after 1.
7-7.
Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. To throw is Jackson. Flushed out right. He's going to take off with it. All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up third.
Well, he strung it out as far as he could, and I like the fact that he kept his eyes downfield, but he finally ran out of time and room. But I'll take that over forcing it downfield and possibly having it intercepted.
On third down, Jackson eluding the pressure right. He may try and run for this. And past the 40. The 40's out of bounds.
I mean, what more can you say about Lamar Jackson? We know that he's got the quickness and the agility, but if you wanted proof of his straight line speed, look no further.
And normally when you see guys move it this fast, it might be a fly pattern from a receiver or a toss sweep from a tailback or something like that. This was designed as a passing play, and then he got out of the pocket, and he just took off, and he just kept gaining momentum with every step.
Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
Devin Duvernay, the intended receiver.
That'll bring up second down. This is Hill on the draw play. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater. He just made a great play there.
Off the play fake to Dobbins, here's Jackson.
Dancing, and he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. Larry Ogunjobi able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Tremendous read and reaction by the defensive tackle, and frankly, partner, it's not that often the DTs have that type of easy access back to the quarterback. Never bought the play-action fake.
And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard.
Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here.
Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10
at their own 20-yard line.
He'll set up to throw from the gun.
And incomplete.
So much for the best laid plans and best designed plays. That was good coverage along the sidelines. No place for that one to get in there. It sails incomplete.
Again, it's Burrow on 2nd and 10. Incomplete.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. And that is incomplete.
Intended for T. Higgins. Incomplete.
That's an excellent job right there on 3rd down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a 1st down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's 4th down.
Here's A.J. Cole now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. That's taken it around the 40. Fighting through, and he's got space. There he goes, right side. And all the way in for the Ravens touchdown. He returns the punt 60 yards, and the Ravens have taken the lead.
If you didn't know it, it won't surprise you to find out that this team leads the league in scoring. They've been a quick strike team all season long. There's another example. They did it again. This offensive coordinator, right now you can write his ticket towards being a head coach. He's advanced in the ways of offense.
Tucker now to add the point after. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. That's no secret. That's why they have him return punts. He has the capability to take them back, and he did so there.
Tucker in the kickoff for Baltimore.
So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff. And that that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. So now the Bengal offensive unit back out onto the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
A gain of 3, second down.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad, because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier, but shut him down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're exactly right. I would say that. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. The sack there by Roquan Smith. And they went empty backfield, and because of that, nobody was there to pick up the blitz.
And you know that offenses, when they go with the empty backfield, they have different things designed on every play to try to account for things. But what people often forget, defense is audible as well. And a lot of times when they see an empty backfield, they audible right into a blitzing situation.
So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a 3rd and long after that sack we just saw. They're passing here, Joe Burrow.
Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. Calling a loss of 2 on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a 1st down.
Here's A.J. Cole now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. 39 yards on the punt, give him just 1 yard on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. With the football back over to Baltimore and J.K. Dobbins. He's in his zone, 2nd quarter, already closing in on a 100-yard gain.
And that's the magic number for a running back. Anytime you get to that triple digits, that's all you're looking for. But he's got a chance to really exceed that in this one.
Yeah, he does. That's been the gold standard for a long time, hasn't it, that 100-yard mark?
It really has, and that never has to shift because it's in a game. It's a 1,000-yard mark. I'm wondering, since we've gone from 12 to 14 to 16 games, maybe we need to up that a little. The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now it's Jackson. Wide open receiver complete. And he's into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Mark Andrews, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Ravens will extend their lead.
For a big tight end, he can sure move like a slot receiver when he gets a head of steam going. And as a defensive back, you've got a big decision to make when he's moving like that.
Tucker now for the extra point. It's good, and it is now 21-7. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Joe Mixon and the rest of his offense making their way back onto the field. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the 2nd quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way. as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down.
T. Higgins was the intended target.
And it's 3rd and 5. From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. He's got his man, Boyd.
And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a first down.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
Now Burrow on first down. Looking middle, and that's complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well. And Burrow going to throw again. He's going to find his tight end, Boyle. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7.
Burrow going to give this to Mixon.
And he'll take this one down to the 36.
But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped him. Marked that down for a win in the defense's column.
And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. It was Justin Houston, the native of Statesboro, Georgia, with a sack.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They're already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. Here's A.J. Cole now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And wow, the fair catch was signaled for and taken inside the 5-yard line. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and the Ravens will get it. 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. The drive will commence with a run by J.K. Dobbins. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
2nd and 4.
A shotgun snap and again to Dobbins. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 15. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
Complete to number 7. A gain of 9 brings up.
Was that a design pass, or what was that?
It was built into the play call. He had the opportunity to either hand it inside, keep it himself to run it, or do what he just did. Throw that pass inside, hitting a receiver on the run.
The Ravens on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. They're up against a 3rd-and-1 situation. They'll try and run for the first with Edwards. And for the moment, this will be a first down. But we have a marker on the field. Let's see if this stands. That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
The Ravens on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 10. From the gun, Jackson. Escaping the pressure right. And that will be incomplete.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them, and I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
So a good punt there, but a nice return of 11 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Joe Mixon and the Bengal offense ready to go back to work. Those are his numbers through roughly the first half of the season, and given that, you'd have to think he's on pace for a 1,000-yard campaign.
Steady as he goes, steady goes the offense. But you know what else is happening, too, because they are a team now recognized with the ability to run the football. You've got to be able to throw it better now, right? Better throwing lanes, better opportunities for the guys downfield, maybe more one-on-one coverage, which you should be able to beat easier. Yeah, he's establishing not just a tone, but an identity for his team.
And that's a discussion we had a couple days ago in the team meetings, talking about this running game opening up the passing game. We'll see if that continues to happen. On second down, here's Mixon. And he's going to be down close to a first down at the Ravens 42. And 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man. To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
2nd and 10 now, Burrow. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. They get 6. That'll leave him with 3rd and 4. Oh, he'll let one go deep for Higgins. Open man is Higgins, and he's got it. Touchdown, Cincinnati. T. Higgins, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bengals able to get this back within a touchdown. So on 3rd and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still show run formations to make them respect it and throw out of those. In this case, they took a nice shot at the end zone and made it pay off.
It's up and good. This becomes a 21-14 ball game now. 5 plays there on that drive. And it ends with a Bengals score. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. Fielded right around the 8. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return.
And they're on 31-yard line.
This Ravens offense heads back out there, led by Lamar Jackson. And I'm sure he wanted to have a huge game, wants to have a huge game as the quarterback, but really on the ground, they've been very, very hard to stop. Maybe you just keep going to that well.
I think so, and isn't it funny how the definition of balance changes for us from game to game? Sometimes it's 50-50, run it, throw it. Sometimes it's just being a balanced running team in terms of who's carrying the football.
More than one guy.
Right, multiple guys out there, and now your guy back there has to throw it. Doesn't have to worry about it quite as much.
And they've got the lead here in the second quarter.
At the 49-yard line.
Now Jackson on first down. They set up the screen to Hill. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. From the gun, it's Jackson. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. So 3rd and 2. This quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. Again, Jackson. And he comes back with one complete.
And he's going to have a 1st down here. They're also at a field goal range now at the 27-yard line.
The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. They'll throw on 1st down with Jackson. Flush to his right. This will be caught inside the 10. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this 1st half. A chance to really cap off a big 1st half here as they come up on 1st and goal. And Jackson throwing once more. Flushed out right. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Ravens will add on to their lead.
This defense, so many things to worry about in the red zone area, but you'd have to almost think that Lamar Jackson running the football, that might be number 1.
It should be number 1. And in this portion of the field where things shrink a little bit because the receivers can't run past anyone because they'll run out of real estate, you should have all eyes on Lamar Jackson when the ball is snapped and try and keep him back in the pocket.
Yeah, I don't think that they were surprised he was running it there. They just couldn't stop him, and he ends up in the end zone.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25.
Cincinnati set to take over once again.
And you're under a minute to go in the half, a 1st half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the 2nd. But there's also something to challenging your offense right here. You know, hey, guys, you help dig this hole. See if you can get us out of it a little bit before the half runs out. Let's go make some plays.
Space to maneuver at the 40. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
Unnecessary roughness.
Now, I know it's an emotional game, Charles. You can't do that.
And when you get into your film sessions and you argue your case with your coaches, that's exactly what they say at the end. You just can't do it. It costs your team.
They will throw on 1st down with Burrow. And incomplete as he was knocked as he threw it. And it took the ball off course. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
Complete to his tight end Sample. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. Throwing now, Burrow on 1st down. Now they go screen, it's complete. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the 1st half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. From the left hash, this from 39. And his kick is good. And that will do it for this first half. So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, good work in that first half. More from you guys in a minute. But first, let's get to some scores right here on the day before Halloween. We'll get started down at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. And that's been a back-and-forth game, all tied in the second quarter. From there, we head over to MetLife Stadium to check in on the Jets. And they trail the visiting Bills in that ball game at halftime. Stephon Diggs, a touchdown catch in that first half. Finally, let's get to the country music capital of the world and see what's happening with the Titans at home in Nashville. And they've got the lead in that ball game over the Jaguars as that one's gone to halftime. Ryan Tannehill looking good. 2 touchdown passes. Meanwhile, in our game, no shortage of offense as each team has been able to move the ball effectively. Will the defenses show up in the second half? To find out, we give it back to our commentators, Brandon Gotten and Charles Davis.